Hi everyone. So today we're going to talk about something called shape poems. What is a shape poem? Well, a shape poem is a poem basically written in a shape. So it can be written about a subject or a topic, like anything that you're interested in. So, for example, coffee, tea, maybe your house, a pet like a cat or a dog or a fish, a pencil, a book, a star, a video game, literally anything. But think about the shape of that thing. What's the shape of a cat? What's the shape of a pencil? What's the shape of a cup of coffee? So this poem can rhyme or it can not rhyme. It doesn't need to rhyme. It can be sentences or it can just be words. And we're going to look at some examples today. But the most important thing is that it's in the shape of the thing that you're writing about. So check out this example, just to explain to you what a shape poem is. I'm going to read it for you, but even before we read it, you're looking at this poem, and what does it look like? Well, it looks like a star, right? This is a shape poem about a star. Your poem will fill the shape so that anyone looking to read your poem will know right away by looking at it what it will be about. It can rhyme if you want, but the structure of the poem is up to you. So this poem is about a star. It's explaining to you what a shape poem does. Let's look at a few more examples. So here, I'm not going to even read these poems, but you can see what they're about, right? So if we look at the first poem, it's going to be about a bunny rabbit. If we look at the middle poem, it's going to be about a cat. If we look at the last poem, it's going to be about a foot, maybe, or walking. So with a shape poem, you should be able to look at the poem and understand what it's going to be about, even before you read it. Now, some shape poems can rhyme, so this is a really fun example of a shape poem that rhymes. So when you're looking at it, you know it's going to be about a whale, and it's called Big Blue Whale. You can see that in the eye of the poem. The big blue whale is not a fish. You could not keep it in a dish. A bathtub would not do at all. A swimming pool is much too small. You would not want to pay the bill for 40 million little krill that you would need to buy each day if Big Blue Whale were come to stay. It's bigger than a dinosaur and would not fit through your front door. Its home is in the salty sea with krill for breakfast, lunch, and tea. So this poem rhymes, but your shape poem does not need to rhyme, and let's look at a few more examples. So in this poem, it's not even sentences. It's just words about the topic, about the subject, which is a bird. So here's how this poem goes. Hop, worms, sing, robin, nest, eggs, fly, babies, dig, swoop, pretty, yellow, orange, small, big, downy, feathery. So this poem looks like a bird. It's about things about a bird, but it doesn't rhyme. It's not sentences. So this is okay too for a poem. Same with this poem about an apple. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but see the words that are in this poem? You have stem in this place where the stem should be. Apple, apple, yum, juicy, crunchy, red, yellow, green, delicious. And my favorite part about this poem is in the middle. It says, wormy worm, because there's a worm in the apple. This poem is about a volcano, and you can see it's in the shape of a volcano. A volcano, a huge rock, shooting lava up into the air. Everyone runs for cover. Lots of thick black smoke pours out of the top, giving you a warning before the explosions start. Nothing can stand in its way. Sometimes they don't blow up for hundreds of years. Still thousands in the world, but they don't all work. Some are even underwater. So this poem, it's not rhyming. It's just sentences kind of describing a volcano. And that's great. That's an easy way to do a shape poem. Same with this poem about drinking a cup of coffee or cup of tea. So you can see up at the top where the steam is coming out, it says, swirls of steam curling from the cup, swirls of smell lifting from the mug. Would you like a cup of hot coffee? The rest of the poem describes things about drinking a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, especially on a cold day. I love this poem about a cat. It's called Concrete Cat. And you can see that the parts of the poem are just describing the cat. ear, ear, eye, whisker, whisker, mouth, whisker, whisker. So that's an easy way to write a poem. You don't have to do sentences. You can just write the parts of the thing that you're describing in the place where they go. So now that we've seen some examples of shape poems, your homework is to write your own shape poem. So to get started, I want you to think about an object or a thing that you like. It can be a food, it can be an animal, it can be a game, like you could do a video game controller. And then I want you to think of sentences or adjectives that describe it. So remember, a lot of the poems that we looked at, they don't rhyme. They're just sentences or adjectives or words that describe the thing. So write those sentences or adjectives together. It might help to write them in a paragraph or just write all the words in one place. And then you're going to put those sentences or put those words in the shape of the thing. So one thing that's helpful is to draw the shape of your thing in pencil and then write your poem inside the pencil and then erase the pencil. So you can see, for example, here, this is a poem about an eagle. And so they drew the shape of the eagle first, and then they wrote the poem inside the shape. And then after, when we're done, we can erase the shape, erase the lines, so you just see the poem. Okay, write me if you have any questions, and I'm excited to read them.